Hard a port, bosun. Aye, aye, Captain Stobart. She cannot take it, Captain. The lad's dead. Abandon ship.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Hello and welcome back to Arcanum Gaming. My name is Richie. Today we're back with another episode of Broken Sword 2, The Smoking Mirror. Last time we played, we finished up over at Ketch's Landing, I believe, and then Nico, we joined up with her here at the British Museum, and we were trying to figure out how to get out of here.
Please, miss, don't go.
After
Okay.
Ubier apparently stole the Jaguar Stone. So we obviously can't go out the main way. I don't see anything over here that would help. The only thing that I noticed last episode that looked kind of suspicious was this very unusually colored, kind of out-of-place tapestry-looking thing.
Excuse me, miss. Please don't touch the exhibits.
Okay, we've tried to interact with that, and we can't. But something about the color palette, it just kind of stands out to me. It looks like something that we should be able to interact with. Now, I don't really have anything item-wise. We can talk to these ladies, but they don't say anything. They just giggle at us. Can't interact with the bag at all.
It would probably be less suspicious if I kept away from the empty case.
I feel like we really need to investigate that, though. Is there anything else we can talk to this guy about?
There was nothing else I wanted to ask him just then.
No. Okay, I must be missing something here.
It was a woven wall hanging with a South American design.
Wall hang. What about the banister up here? Can we interact with that at all, or is it just...
It was a woven...
No, same thing. What about this side? Yeah, I know.
Excuse me.
It was a woven...
No, nothing new. What about... Did we look at this wall
I didn't
panel?
need to make a call.
That was a phone, not a security thing. Alright. There's obviously something in here that we're missing.
The cabinet contained a dagger decorated with Mayan designs.
We already tried picking the locks, didn't we?
That's the kind of thing Georges would do. Not me.
And that's why you're stuck in this museum.
The carving looked Buddhist in subject, but Mesoamerican in execution.
If we mess with something over here, can we get the guard to leave
I
the case
wanted
alone?
nothing to do with that statue. It made me nervous somehow. There was a huge carving of somebody who must have been important once. There was nothing I wanted to do with the statue except find out where he bought his hat. Très chic. It was the obsidian mirror which Drake had given to John Dee. The cabinet was locked. There was nothing useful in the bag. It was a hair clip. That's the kind of thing...
I can't even look at anything in that cabinet over there. We're obviously missing something, but what?
Perhaps I'm a Philistine, but old vases bore me.
Let's try talking to these ladies again.
I doubted the girls would be any help to me. The attendant didn't show it, but I sensed he was watching my every move.
What was it you wanted?
He wouldn't have been interested. Thank you, you've been most helpful. It was a small key, intended for a small lock.
There's a key in there. Oh. So why it said she said it would be better if we didn't mess around with the case, but there was a key there to take. I didn't even see that. What if we use the key to get the mirror thing here? Or the plate, whatever it is.
The key didn't fit this lock. The cabinet.
Alright, how about this lock then? With the dagger.
The key unlocked the case.
Okay. We have a dagger now.
It was an obsidian dagger, thin and razor sharp.
Okay, what if we use the dagger on this now? Really?
It was an obsidian dagger, thin and razor sharp. That's the kind of thing Georges would... That's the kind of...
Okay. What if we use that on this case? No. Oh, we left the key behind. Can we give the key back to the...
I locked the case again and took the key.
We definitely can't use the key. Wait, okay. What if we give the key to this guy? Or maybe we can talk to him and tell him that the dagger was stolen too, and he'll leave us alone
What
over
was
here.
it you wanted?
Look at this. The thief left this key in the cabinet.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
That makes the theft an inside job, right?
Oh dear.
In other words, the thief was Professor Oublier.
Well, let's leave that for the police to decide, shall we? I better phone them right away.
Good.
Hello?
I knew I had nothing to worry about if the police were called.
Yes, hello.
But I had to catch up with Oublier, and fast. It would probably be...
Alright, let's see if we can move this thing now. Yes, we can. There's a door.
The doors were securely locked.
Can we open it with this key?
The doors were...
Can we open it with the hairpin?
The doors were...
Can we open it with the obsidian dagger?
I don't think so.
Yes, we can.
I levered the handle open with the thin dagger.
Meanwhile, back in the Caribbean.
The room had been decorated to resemble the interior of a sailing ship. It was disturbingly effective.
Alright. So we made it into the Pirate Museum.
It was a beautifully crafted model of a sailing ship.
Where's my notepad? I don't know if I'm going to need to keep any notes here, but... A sailing ship.
It was a beautiful...
We interact with it.
The ship looked too fragile to touch.
Too fragile to touch. What's this down here?
It was an old book with spidery writing covering the open pages.
We read it?
March 20th, 1670 fix. Engaged frigate off Fan Salvador? It was garbage. Huh. I guess being a pirate didn't require too many academic qualifications. The passage went on to describe how Ketch had got wind of the approach of a fleet of English ships. It seemed the new governor had not shared his predecessor's views on Ketch's activities. They were out for his blood. Sailed to that place where I made secure my fortune. I returned safe in the knowledge that the governor shall not discover that which I had hidden. For is it not writ that 'tis easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle?
Alright, buried treasure somewhere.
Surprise!
Oh. That must be the girl. Oh, I can't remember her name.
What the? Who are you?
I'm Emily.
What were you doing in there, Emily?
Hiding. What are you doing here?
Grown-up stuff.
Grown-ups? Pfft, I'm never gonna grow up, I'm not. You shouldn't be here. What's your name?
I'm George.
Pleased to meet you, Jaws.
George.
Jaws,
Jeez.
make your mind up.
What can you tell me about Captain Ketch?
That's him on the wall, in the picture.
Yeah? Boy, that's interesting.
He was a sailor captain. This is his house.
Why don't you go play with Rio?
I'm not allowed.
How come?
'Cause Aunt Frost says I'm not allowed out of the house. That's why, Mr. Nosy Beak.
Too bad. Look, an ancient Mayan stone.
Is that a magic stone?
Well, I don't know about that.
No.
Do you know how to use a theodolite?
We don't learn anything about surveying at my school. Not until 5th grade.
Why don't you ask your other aunt if you can play with Rio?
Aunt Mina's cuckoo. Aunt Frost says so. She says when the Lord handed out common sense, Aunt Mina was off getting double portions of chin.
Ouch.
Would you like to play darts?
No?
Oh, come on. I'll throw, you catch.
That's dangerous. Darts will stick in me and make me bleed.
Yeah?
That Rio's a smart kid. He helped me outwit Bronson.
Rio is clever. He can spit ever so far.
So he'd be pretty good on, Booty Island. Not Booty Island. Is it Booty Island? It has a spitting contest? Yeah. What we got here?
It was one of those old pens made out of a feather.
A feather pen. Okay.
That might come in useful in ticklish situations.
Ticklish?
What you doing, Jaws?
I'm just borrowing this feather, that's all.
Why?
I might be able to make use of it.
You gonna steal it? That's bad. I'm gonna tell on you.
No, don't do that.
Why not?
Well, because I'm not stealing, just borrowing. It was an actual pirate ship chart. Okay, I've had my hands on an historical document. Now what? Sailed to that place where I returned safe in the knowledge that the governor, for is it not writ that...
There's something we can do with the chart, I guess.
Hard a port, bosun! Aye, aye, Captain Stobart! She cannot take it, Captain! The lad's dead. Abandon ship! Captain Frederick Ketch, 1570. Around his neck was a cross. Maybe he was a part-time pirate.
It's gonna be the same thing. Okay.
It was the portrait of Captain Ketch. The portrait might have made a nice souvenir, but it was too large to carry. It was a ship's bell.
Ring the bell.
2 bells and all's well. Pirates were cool.
same thing.
2 bells and all's well. Pirates were.
What do we got over here?
It was an old wooden barrel. Maybe it was from Ketch's ship.
Seems logical.
Yow! I should have known better than to put my hand in there. Grandma Stobart had a nasty experience in a water butt once. It was an old...
Is there something in it? Oh, wait. Can we use this? With the, no, okay. I can't see anything over here. I guess I'm not meant to. Let's talk to Emily again.
Why don't you run along and play?
Aunt Mina told me.
Well, that doesn't mean you have to stay indoors, does it? On a beautiful day like today?
There's a storm coming.
Oh, nuts. You don't know that.
I do so. I can see the whole world from the window.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm busy. That cross you're wearing, Emily,
It's my lucky Jesus cross.
it's just like the one Captain Ketch wore.
Uh-huh.
Can I borrow it?
Uh-uh.
What would you trade for that cross, Emily?
A puppy.
Well, I don't happen to have a puppy in my pocket right now. Can you think of anything else you'd trade?
Don't know.
Interesting. There's something in the wall there. I can't interact with that, though. Anything over here? No, just more screen that I can't interact with.
Okay. I've had my hands on an historical document. Now what?
No.
Okay.
Is it with this desk? Yes.
The chart fitted exactly into the recess on the top of the desk.
What you doing now, Jaws?
Knock it off, will ya? There's something you ought to know. I don't buy cute or lost puppy. I'm putting this old map on the desk
What you doing that for, Jaws?
because it was obviously intended to fit in this recessed area.
How'd you work that out?
It's obvious. That looked like that's where it was supposed to be, so I left it there. The desk had obviously been cut to fit the chart. Or maybe vice versa. The desk had...
Okay. Now what? How good was that?
It was I guess it was intended to hold ink, but it seemed unnecessarily wide. Maybe Ketch had used it to hold his rum bottles steady in heavy seas.
I missed part of that.
It was an indented well in the corner of the desk.
Indented well. No. Is there something else to pick up here?
It was a neat oil lantern made of brass. Holding that lantern, I felt kinda biblical. Like Jesus or Florence Nightingale. The lantern fitted so precisely in the inkwell, it could only be deliberate.
What you doing now?
grown-up stuff.
I doubt that.
I've put the lantern in the inkwell. See? It fits.
Why?
Because it was cut to fit.
Why?
Because sneaky old Captain Ketch made it that way.
Why?
What is with all the questions?
'Cause I'm interested.
Why?
'Cause I have the insatiable curiosity of the young.
Why?
All right. Truce.
Okay, I like Emily. Okay, now what?
It was the holder for the quill.
The holder for the quill. Put the quill back in.
Before you ask, I've put the feather back. Are you happy now?
Don't you want to steal it anymore?
For the last time, I didn't steal it.
That's your word against mine, and I'm the one with the dimples.
That looked like that's where it was supposed to be, so I left it there. The desk had obviously...
Okay, we can't touch these things. We can still take the feather back out. Is there something else we can pick up and put in that spot? I wonder if the cross would fit in there and give us a
There were
location.
several things I wanted to say to that awful kid, but I held my tongue.
We got something. We must be missing something. Something with the barrel? I didn't look at the swords on the wall.
Whatever lived in that barrel could stay there as far as I was concerned.
Something's in the barrel. We try to fish it out with the underwear? Why do we still have the underwear?
It would have been easy to reach the cutlass and slip it in my pocket. It would also have been the most regrettable action of my life. Maybe that wheel was from Ketch's ship. Suddenly, I was 12 years old again. That isn't it at all. I'd better think this. Not such a good idea. The desk had obviously been... It was the holder for the quill. The desk had The little girl had cute freckles, cute little nose, and the eyes of a KGB interrogator. Around her neck was a large cross on a chain. It was identical to the one in the portrait of Captain Ketch.
Alright, let's see if we can leave here. Is there anything that I've missed? Talk to the cat, maybe?
I wasn't going to risk further laceration by the cat's claws.
What if we head back down here to the beach? Is there something on the table to interact with, maybe? Nothing that I can see. We couldn't interact with the net before. Let's see, is the other kid still here? He is. Let's try talking to him.
What do you give to a small, irritating girl who asks about everything?
Try a conch. Delicate colors, interesting shape, and when you put it to your ear, you can hear the sea.
Yeah, why's that?
Usually because you're standing next to it.
Cool. Have you got one?
Yeah, but I promised it to my sister. She well vexed with me.
What if I give you the feather?
Any use for a quill?
What's a quill?
It's what people used to write with in Captain Ketch's days.
None. I'd sooner be fishing.
Why is your sister mad with you?
Well, last night when I got home with our supper, she went wild. Rio, she said, how come all you ever catch is puffer fish? A sicker puffer fish. What I want is tiger fish. So don't bother come back home till you catch one, boy. I don't see how I'm gonna catch no tiger fish. All I have is a fishing pole and a worm.
What do you need to catch a tiger fish?
One of them real fancy flies like the rich fishermen use.
A fancy fly, huh?
Not such a good idea.
How about a dart?
What you got there?
I didn't think the kid would be interested in that.
You make a fancy fishing fly?
That isn't it at all. That isn't it at all. No. Not such a...
So these are just a conch shell for the girl? Are there any shells around here? Oh, he has the shell. Where am I going to get a fishing fly?
I didn't want a fishing net. The novelty value of having an inner tube in my pocket had worn off. I left it there.
Can't interact with the ladder anymore. Maybe we can ask Emily about a fishing fly?
There were several things I wanted to say.
Apparently not. Okay, this right here in the door jamb looks like something, but I can't interact with it.
Whatever lived in that barrel could stay there as far as I was concerned.
Check out the treasure chest again. Did I look inside already?
It was Captain Ketch's sea chest. Its battered appearance hinted at salty tales of maritime adventure and swashbuckling. Long months at sea with a rum-sodden, mutinous crew, hardtack and scurvy. And this chest, full to the brim with Ketch's loot, pearls, diamonds, emeralds, and doubloons. On the other hand, it could have been full of spare blankets.
Full of spare blankets. Is there anything else?
It was Ketch's logbook.
I looked at the logbook already, didn't I?
Sailed to that place where I made secure my fortune. I returned safe in the knowledge that the governor shall not discover that which I had hidden. For is it not writ that 'tis easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle?
Camel to pass through the eye of a needle. Is that a hint? I don't think so.
Not such a good idea.
Can we ever have the lipstick? Did we try that already?
She wouldn't have been interested.
Alright, I gotta figure out how to get this fish. I may need to look up a hint, because I don't know. It's hard to see. I'm not seeing anything else that I can interact with. I've tried combining. I think I've tried
It
combining
was
everything in my
Ubier's bank
inventory.
statement.
Okay. Let me think here.
Not such a good idea. It was the quill I'd found in the Ketch Museum.
Okay, I looked up a hint real quick. It's got something to do with the feather. So we can't use it in its current state. It has to be shredded. What about with the swords? How in the world would I have figured that out anyway?
It would have been easy to reach the cutlass and slip it in my pocket. It would also have been the most regrettable action of my life.
Okay, no. What about this thing in the barrel that tried to bite us or whatever? I can't think of anything else.
Whatever lived in that barrel could stay there as far as I was concerned.
Alright, that's obviously not it. We can't really offer her the feather, can we? Oh, what about the cat? Try to tickle the cat or something? Yeah.
The cat made short work of the feather, tearing it into a blizzard of small pieces.
Okay. Interesting. What if we try to combine this with the dart now?
No. The quill had been torn into small pieces. That isn't it at all. That was... I don't think...
Do we just give him the shredded feather?
What you got there?
Hey, this is just what you need to make a fly.
Thanks. Let's hope them tiger fish hungry. A deal's a deal. Here's a conch.
That was easy. Okay. Got ourselves a conch shell, which we might be able to trade for that cross. Although I feel like it can't be that easy. Let's go back to the museum. Alright folks, I'm not sure what happened there. I accidentally turned the recording off, so we're back now here. Okay, so we just walked back into the museum, and we were just about to give the shell to Emily. Or offer it as a trade.
Here, I've got a conch. Would you like it?
Dunno. Aunt Frost told me never to take presents from strange men.
I'm not a strange man.
Then why are you called Jaws, Jaws? That's a stupid name.
I'm not called... Look, conch, pretty. Swap for the cross, yes or no? Right, this thing's going out the window.
Okay, we'll do swapsies.
Thank you. Alright. We traded.
Ketch's crucifix was encrusted with precious gems.
Yeah.
Ketch's cross slipped snugly into the penholder. Before you ask, I've put your cross in this little hole in the desk.
Why?
Impulse mainly, with a dash of irrational intuition.
Silly. Only women have intuition.
The lantern cast a strong light over the desktop. The light cast a shadow of the cross. And the shadow fell precisely over a small, unnamed island shaped like a skull.
X marks the spot.
That must be it. Ketch's Treasure Island.
Uh-oh. That's Zombie Island. It's a bad place.
No kidding? Well, bad place or not, that's my next port of call.
Can I come too?
The hell you can.
I never get to leave the
I'll
house.
bring her with. It'd be fun. Alright. Do we leave the stuff here so people can obviously know where
That
we're
looked
going?
like that's where it was supposed to be.
Alright, I guess we can't interact with anything. Anything else to
There
say,
were
Emily?
several things I wanted to say to that awful kid, but I held my tongue.
Alright, well. Alrighty then. I think we're going to go and wrap this one up here for today. We'll pick it up next time, I'm assuming checking out Zombie Island. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day.